Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today in this video where we're going to be reacting to a highly requested video, which is Tom MacDonald's interview with Ben Shapiro. I think that's how you pronounce it, Ben Shapiro. All right, I've had a lot of requests, but before I wanted to react to this, I wanted to listen to the song that created so much hatred for this guy. And if you want to know my view on that, watch the reaction. See, see for yourself. I don't know if I share the same views as everybody else, but hey, what do I know? Hey, come on. Let's check this video out. Let's see what it is all about. Without any further ado, let's check the interview. Let's go.
All right, joining us on the line is Tom MacDonald. You've seen his videos, you've heard his songs. He says what most Americans think without fear. He doesn't censor himself. He has a brand new music video called Dirty Money. It was just released on Friday. It already has like 3 million views on YouTube. Tom, thanks for joining the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about, how your music career originally happened, because it's very rare to spot anybody remotely near the music industry who does not simply follow the left-wing line on pretty much all the issues. But you very vocally do not. So how'd you get where you are?
Well, I think the key to everything has been I'm totally independent. I have no ties to the music industry whatsoever. I've sort of created my own little ecosystem outside of the music industry. I produce all of my music. I write all my songs. My girlfriend shoots all my videos. We
Wow.
distribute my music independently. There is no affiliation with any record label, manager, PR team, marketing, publicist, distro, nothing. So it's just us. And I've been doing it for about 10 years. And just like you said, man, I'm making music about that.
10 years? How come I'm only just hearing about him now? 10 years? Wow. Okay. I thought he was new. I thought he was fresh. I didn't know it's been going on for 10 years. But this is the thing, though, isn't it? To be able to remain independent and say the sort of things he's saying, which we've got to be careful are not entirely false. You got to need to make sure that you're not under any machine, isn't it? Okay.
About the things that I think people are afraid to talk about.
That's amazing. I mean, the response has been absolutely incredible. You can see it from the number of views on all of your music videos. So how do you go about writing a song? Both musically and then also in terms of the lyrics. Which do you do first? You do the music first, the lyrics first, and where are you getting sort of the material from?
It's always a different process. Since I make all of my own beats, like sometimes I come into the studio with no concept, with no direction, and just sort of create freely, and it just comes about naturally. But like a lot of people out there, I think we're just sort of bombarded with like information these days, whether it's the news or the newspaper or on the internet or on social media. It's just like this constant bombardment of headlines and stuff happening in the world. So I'm just taking all of this information in and digesting it as best as I can, and sometimes regurgitating it back out into songs of my thoughts and feelings about what's going on in the world today. So yeah, I think it's pretty hard, like, to not feel some type of way about all the craziness sort of taking place these days.
So why don't you tell me about sort of the origins of Dirty Money? It just came out on Friday, and as I say, it's racking up millions of views almost immediately. Where did that one come from?
I've always just been sort of interested in politics and sort of the inner workings of things. And I'm not like a political scientist. I'm not super well versed in a lot of the stuff that's going on, but I think where I can connect with people is that I'm just like a regular person, and I'm getting all the same information that all the other regular people are. I'm just fortunate enough to have a platform and have the skill to make music, and it's just a great forum for me to sort of like speak the things that I'm thinking. So when I watch the news, or I read the paper, or I read articles online, I just have a great venue to sort of just speak my mind. So, and I do that from like a regular person's perspective, which is why I think I connect with people like so well.
So
And,
tell me.
and dirty.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, dirty money is just a reflection of like a lot of the things going on right now. And I think, especially in America, um, speaking of money, like financially and economically, I think that we're in a real hard place right now. So I wrote this song 6 months ago. It just happened to be the right time for it now.
So
I listened to that Dirty Money song. That was my first reaction to him. And that song literally drew me to Tom, because I heard a lot of things that the common man out there is struggling with. And within the sort of industry I'm in, we have to encounter a lot of people that are struggling, and where in the past there have been structures in place to provide preventative support, now is more of a reactional support, which by the time you're reacting to something, it's already too late. It's already too late because something has gone wrong, hence the reaction. But how can you prevent that from happening? You need the systems that are in place, or that should be in place, to be implemented by the people that are constantly making those cuts. Because the people suffering are not the people, are not you and me. Or rather, that's not what I meant. The people that are suffering are you and me, and not the people that are making these decisions. They're not being affected by it. So, hence the reason I thought, okay, I like this guy.
Let's talk about kind of how your music career got started, because we were talking right before we got on the line about the fact that you used to work construction. So how did you get to where you are right now? Like, when did you first take up music? How did this happen?
Well, I was a professional wrestler for many years, like the WWE style stuff. And that sort of chapter of my life came to a close. Just like there's a lot of internal politics in wrestling, and accumulated injuries, so I had to get out of that business. And I'd always been sort of writing poetry and writing rock songs. Didn't have the voice. It wasn't a Robert Plant, Joe Cocker vocalist. But I still needed an outlet, and I had been writing music. So rap and hip hop just was sort of the natural direction for somebody that didn't have a big rock star frontman voice. So got into rap and hip hop, made the exact same music as everybody else for many years, probably 6 or 7 years. Everything was about cars and clothes and money and girls and partying and all that stuff. And I was emulating a lot of like what I was seeing the biggest artists of the time doing. And not only emulating it in my music, but emulating it in my real life, which led me down a super destructive path, which sort of culminated with like a little bit of a bout with alcoholism, which sort of led to a little bit of a mental breakdown. And that took me like 9 months to close to a year to rehab myself from that. So now I'm completely sober. And I sort of coming out of that dark place, it gave me an opportunity to sort of examine what do I care about, and what do I want to make in my music, and who do I want to talk to with my music. And I just sort of made the decision, like I don't want to make music that's going to damage other people like the music I was listening to damaged me. So now I'm here, sober as a judge, making what the world has deemed to be super controversial music, but it's just stuff that I truly care about.
So how'd you get into American politics in the first place? You're from Canada, right? You're from our northern neighbor.
Yeah.
So what got—
Hold on a second. He made a crucial point there. A crucial point which I think a lot of people try and ignore. The idea of what we're feeding people. People will try and say that, oh yeah, you don't you if you're strong enough, you shouldn't get influenced by that. But that's not right though, is it? Because if you're constantly bombarded with misinformation, you're constantly bombarded with information around the only way to appear wealthy is to have the the nicest cars, have the blonde on your arm, blonde or whichever girl the society says it is these days, have the chain around your neck, drink loads of alcohol, take whatever it is that is on scene these days, and that's the only way you appear to be wealthy. Then people coming up are gonna try that. Look. So having heard the sort of music that Tom puts out there, and having listened to the sort of character he presents, you wouldn't have thought that he would be somebody that could be taken down that rabbit hole. But everybody, this is important. Everybody is just has capable of making one mistake or the other. It doesn't matter what it is, but when that weak point of that person has been found and you're not careful to get away from that, everybody's capable of making the same and making a mistake. And it's important that we are careful of what we are
What got you into
consuming.
American politics?
Well, I think that the whole world is sort of into American politics from childhood. Even like growing up in Canada, like my dad and my grandfather were always like really into politics. So I'd sit around and watch TV with them and listen to them talking. And it's really crazy. Like even back then when I was a kid, they were talking about China and sort of warning me about, hey man, China's going to be a big deal one day. You need to pay attention to this stuff. And here we are today, and it's just like a little bit of a deja vu. But so you kind of absorb a lot of that just coming up in Canada. American politics are sort of spotlighted globally, I think. And then moving to America like 8 or 9 years ago now, um, it was a little bit of a culture shock. And I think that there's a lot of people here that get so wrapped up in it all the time, and they're in it from birth. That I think that I had a little bit of a unique perspective, because I think sometimes it's that old saying, you can't see the forest through the trees. And I think that's where a lot of people are at within the country right now. They're just so surrounded by this stuff and have been for so long, that it's hard for them to sort of like differentiate and focus on different things. So coming in from an outsider's perspective 8, 9 years ago, I kind of got to stand back and look at everything and say, holy cow, this is wild. What's taking place here? And it's only got crazy.
Oh no.
If I was working at a record company, why would I ask you to write songs for my artists?
Easier over the last 9 years. So,
well, I was very flattered that Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings does actually show up in one of your big songs, Fake Woke. I don't know.
Hey, man, I've been called the Ben Shapiro of rap many times.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, I've been called the Ben Shapiro of rap because obviously I had my amazing recording of WAP, the Cardi B hit, which I got to say, my version slaps significantly harder than the Cardi B version.
Yo, slap significantly harder. Awesome.
Well, I mean, there have been calls.
I've listened to Ben Shapiro before, and I've like clips of him before, and I've always thought this guy's got an interesting perspective on things, and I kind of, okay, the setting, the way he approaches topics, and the way he remains calm as well, because people just flap around sometimes when they've got no point of view and they've got nothing to say that's valid, they just flap. What you want to do is be able to kind of like compose yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And it's important that regardless of where we sit on the fence, we need to be able to listen to the other side of the argument and make our own decision based on the facts, based on the information we're accumulating. And I think it's I just find him interesting. I find him a very interesting character.
Been calls. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. There have been calls for us to collaborate, and I know that it would probably be degrading your art for us to do that. But I will say that my raps, I feel it's an untapped field for me.
Yeah.
It's something that, you know, I've always wanted to. It's sort of like my feminine identity as a black lesbian woman. It's sort of like an area that I feel is just absolutely. I've never touched it. I've never really gone. Like, I'm a classically trained violinist since the age of 5, and so, you know, Mozart and Beethoven and Bach and Brahms are really more my style. But I feel like there's a part of me that I just haven't accessed, and so maybe I don't know, if the crowd wants it,
right?
then perhaps I'll be forced to solicit your help in joining the rap industry. Is it called? I don't even know what it's called. R&B. Well,
Hey, Ben, if there is untapped potential here, if there's a fire burning somewhere deep inside your soul that's making you want to spit some super hot bars with me, I'm down. Let's make it happen.
well, I really appreciate the invitation. I'm sure nothing would horrify you more, but perhaps we will make that happen sometime in the future, to the consternation of both my audience and your own. Tom MacDonald, you should go check out his brand new music video, Dirty Money. It's out on YouTube right now. Tom, really appreciate the time, and congratulations.
It was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now.
Oh, that was actually a very lovely interview. I really like that. That's a brilliant interview. It's good sometimes when we try and get behind the person, isn't it? Or rather, behind the screen, and understand who the person is. It's really really good. It's really eye opening that he's been around for 10 years and never heard of him. But the thing there is, the reason obviously we've never heard of him for 10 years or until recently is because of what he said. He was doing what everybody else was doing. And this is the thing that we all need to be careful of, because currently we live in a society where all we have is a bunch of clones. So, why do I say that? I say that because we seem to have this idea of, to be the best versions of ourselves, we need to look like somebody else. We need to either have the surgery that a person has had. We need to either buy the outfit that that person have. We need to either go to um, the the sort of route that that person has gone through in terms of work or lack of it, if it's the life of crime or the social life that that person has. We need to live a certain sort of lifestyle, even though we can't afford it and run ourselves into loads and loads of debt. It doesn't matter that we're in pain. What we're thinking about is, how do we present to the outer world out there, lying to ourselves about what we actually are capable of doing. You don't like rap music, you don't have to go down that path. It's okay. Just because you're black doesn't mean you need to like rap music, or just because you're set in ethnicity means you need to like, I don't know, what is it? Country music or something like that. The idea is, you find what you're good at and you stick with that. And what you're born to do will take you further than what you learn to do, because that fire inside of you will burn through with that gift that you've got. And look at him now. Look at Tom. Is a testament. He's done it both ways. And which one is burning through? The real self. I'm not saying that we shouldn't learn stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we just need to look inside of ourselves to find out what is it that we're good at. Because when you tap on that, oh my days, will you explode. Good interview. Really like that. Really, really like that. I'm so sorry this has taken longer than it should have been. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below your views on it. I thought it was good, and I'm gonna keep reacting to more of his songs, which I'm finding quite interesting. Until next time, guys, you guys make sure you look after yourself. Please like and subscribe and join our community. It has been Kings. Peace. Bye for now.